Hey guys, it's Buzzrod here, and we're back with another RTS Siege Up multiplayer game. This time it is a 4v4, and I didn't actually catch the beginning of the title screen, so I kind of recorded late, but I am in yellow here, and I have teammates pink just above me, blue also, and white, so further down. So if you look at the minimap, we are sort of in the bottom half, and also sort of like a square shape, but the opponents will be in the top half. So there is a sea in this map, so I'm just trying to get a shipyard here to get some fishing and for some transport ships, and also just ships that attack. And we do start off with some 8 units already, so I have some like 5 of those soldiers right there, and I'm just going to move them to build in other places. So with the build anywhere now, I'm just going to tuck away a bunch of these houses in the corner, just away, because the space that I have isn't that much. So we have blue here and white. He seems to be AFK a bit. And yeah, I'm just trying to play this game, and I was actually playing on mobile, so not really the best kind of playing for me. So yeah, we'll see how this game goes up. I have a transport ship now, so I was just planning to load up a bunch of cavalry and then go and attack. So I do have some cavalry now and a few ships. So we do have some of these cavalry only in one of those transport ships, but I wasn't sure how big the force was going to be for our enemy. And I do see red on the minimap right there. He does have a market, and my ally does have a bunch of ships, or transport ships loaded with units as well. So the ships here are able to attack the market, and I start unloading some of my units there. We have the soldiers that were at the beginning of the game, and we see red standing guard. He has captured the coal and metal mine right there. I do think he does have quite a bit too much for me, and I was hoping to bait him into the ships there, but he does manage to kind of like split his force, so a few of them do go down. So around this point, I actually thought this one unit here was a neutral unit, but it turns out it was actually Brown's. So I think he started off with a bunch of these guys with clubs here, and he's just blocking the entry there. You can sort of walk around it and get to his base that way, but yeah, he's just got all these forces there. So right now I'm just trying to reposition my units, and always trying to load more units onto the transport ships there. So I have a bunch of cavalry still at home, but they're still just sitting here. And I believe this game actually has a unlimited houses set as well, so you could go over the 100 unit limit supply. Now we have a bunch of our allies with transport ships, and we can see white loading into some of his transport ships there. And I'm also coming towards this area where brown is, so he doesn't have many units right at the shore there. So pink does decide to unload, and I kind of walk around the corner with some of my cavalry. Unfortunately, there is quite a big force here with archers and also a tower defending brown's base. And the ships are just out of range, so we can't exactly use them that much to fight, but we do manage to clear out the archers there, and some of the units here are dwindling for brown. However, there are still 2 towers defending brown's base, and we also have brown attacking over here blue's base. So this is actually explains why Brown didn't have too many forces at home. He was kind of doing a counterattack. Now I'm trying to load up some cavalry into the transport ships, but at the same time, a lot of these buildings for blue have already fallen. His town hall is destroyed, and he has like 2 towers left defending there with a bunch of units on the left hand side. So I finally get some units into my transport ship, and trying to get a second one as well. And some reinforcements arrive as well for Brown. He has some more cavalry, and I have some of my own now. Now what I'm trying to do here is kind of bait the units into my ships. Because I have only a few cavalry, they're gonna die very quickly if I just do a head-on engagement. But it turns out that Brown decides to retreat. I think he just realizes there's a lot of units just coming to surround him, so he runs away to safety and also to defend his base as well. So he didn't actually walk into the ships as I hoped, but at least we still have the ships here to defend. So he's just standing right there, so I do manage to attack him with the ships right there. Turns out I have a lot of cavalry at home, and I still haven't loaded them onto the island, so sending back a transport ship to pick them up right now. So Black decides to attack my ships with his horse archers here. That's when I decide to come in with cavalry and try and attack him as well, but he does fall back and he pulls in a lot of his units there with the towers to support. So I'm actually getting a bit destroyed there. And turns out we didn't really manage to take out Brown's base, so I'm just going to reposition my ships over here now, because that's where Brown is mostly. And Blue did manage to rebuild some of his stuff here. It is very exposed at the moment though. He doesn't really have that many troops here, and also yeah, I do decide to put down a tower there for safety. So here come the ships that were at Brown's base before to reinforce that position. And I'm still trying to get these cavalry into these transport ships here. Yeah, there we go. Let's get in there. Come on, you can do it. Hey, there we go. So I think at this point it's probably better to just build a stable somewhere on the island there, so I don't have to keep ferrying the units back and forth all the time. White does have a lot of units in his ships right there, so he could really do a land invasion somewhere if he decides to go either onto Brown's base or something like that. Blue does have a few troops now guarding his entrance, and I decide to create a workshop here to build some siege units to take down the towers that Black has defending his base. I also dropped down my own tower there just in case they start attacking as well. So Pink really has a decent army as well, just sitting at home, and I still have a bunch of my cavalry built up here as well. And I should be able to ship them off to Blue's base there and get all my units to this position. So Black does start attacking one of Pink's ships there. So the ships are slightly out of range and I can't attack them back. So this is the point where I decide to bring in my army forward. I have 3 catapults there, and that should be enough to take down the opponent's catapults. Now I wasn't really meant to do this. The cavalry just charged in and they're just gonna take lots of hits there. Yeah, Pink is coming in to try and take down that army, but yeah, there's a lot of horse archers there. But it's good enough as a diversion to get these siege units to attack the towers. So the horse archers now are trying to take down all the catapults, but there's still some cavalry left and a bunch of ships on the right hand side. So it's going to be really difficult for Black to break out of his position. This bridge here is very heavily defended by Blue, myself, and yeah, it's going to be really hard for him to move out. So he's pretty much contained at the moment. Perhaps what he could do is use a ship and go all the way around and attack someone else. But yeah, attacking head on across that bridge is going to be really hard. So green is defeated by white, as on the screen there. I actually missed out exactly what happened here, but I suppose white really had his own attack there and managed to take out green's base, which is great. We now are doing a well, let's say 4 versus 3. So pink, yellow, white and blue versus brown and black. Someone else, I suppose. Can't remember. Don't really see them on the map. There's part of the map I haven't even explored yet, so maybe that person is still just camping out their base. So back at black's base again. He does have a shipyard now with 1 ship, so I guess he's trying to build up an army to contest the ships that we have here. I'm trying to like attack them, but this is when black decides to try and push out with a bunch of his units. He has a bunch of horse archers still and some soldiers. So this is very heavily defended here, and that's why it's really hard for him to attack. He's being flanked on all angles here. You have the ships, the siege units, and blue as well. So that's why you really have to go somewhere else, like either take a shipyard out around his base and go somewhere else. Yeah, because this is very heavily defended, as I said. He does have a big army though, so he could really just move out and try and do a base race, I suppose. But yeah, everyone's just massing up still. So black does mention that it is a 4v2, and in this position it's going to be very hard for him to actually win the game, because there's just way more forces to try and defeat. And while he has this defensive position here, it's only a matter of time before it's going to fall. Okay, so the third player on black's team might have just left the game. That's kind of why we probably didn't see them that much. And that's probably why they're having such a hard time trying to win the game. The closest they got was trying to defeat blue, so black did have a good attack near the beginning of the game. But yeah, now the towers are destroyed, but black still has a decent army, so he can still rebuild the towers. And at this point I think blue could have come in to attack, but yeah, the opportunity kind of just closed there with 3 more towers dropping down. So gonna have to build some more units again to take down the towers and have enough to attack on the rest of the forces. We have a small skirmish happening here with pink unloading 2 ballisters, and he's going to attack the shipyard right there. And I moved some of my ships over as well to support and try and take down that ship. So that position there doesn't really have that much significance. It's only holding the gold mine there, and black comes down with a few horse archers to try and contest. And he also has 1 ship that managed to spawn before the shipyard was fallen. And again, I'm trying to take down black's towers right now. I only have like 2 catapults, and he comes in with a bunch of cavalry to meet my forces, and he'll be able to take down my cavalry and also destroy these siege weapons here. So I didn't really have my cavalry in position to defend, but yeah, that was a bit sloppy at my end. I'll need to get some more siege units to continue attacking again, and place my cavalry a bit closer to that small narrow entrance to block off any other units trying to get it through. I managed to take down 1 of the towers, and there's 2 more remaining. So this is when black decides to try and take down these 2 ballisters of pink with a few other ships here as well. Maybe not. And he decides to do an attack right now. A bit hesitant, I think. Not sure where the rest of his forces are at the moment. But the second tower is about to fall, and he sent a few cavalry just to probe, see what's happening. There is a big force here though, so nothing can really be done there on his part. We now have brown on the bottom here, attacking blue's defenses. It's a very narrow walkway there though, and he's got a lot of ranged units, some ballistas there, archers. So these three towers are really hindering him from just pushing forward. And at the same time, white, he unloaded some units at the top there. I'm not sure you can really see it. And he's attacking black. Meanwhile, I rush in with some cavalry. Probably not the best idea. So we have white there with a big battle as well. And yeah, my forces got decimated. White still has some forces there attacking. So at this point, black's units have really thinned out there with the battle with white. And so he only has a few units guarding this one position on his right hand side. He has one tower, and I actually don't have that many forces here. Mostly siege units, so 3 catapults, 7 ballistas. So let's rush back with a few forces here. So I'll probably have to retreat very soon because I don't have any cavalry. So they all died by sending them into that meat grinder over there, over at Brown's. So I need to rebuild some more stuff. And I'm just moving a bit forward now. Still don't really have that much to reinforce my army, but fortunately Brown's army is very small and he's not even attacking. So we do have some horse archers here trying to defend, but unfortunately they're not as good against the siege units that I have. So finally breaking this position with towers, and we're going to take down the production facilities here with the stables, barracks, and workshop. So once again, black is coming in with horse archers, which isn't the best, considering that they don't do as much damage compared to normal cavalry. And these ballistas actually do pretty good damage against a lot of units anyway. So you can see they're trying to like run around and take down some units here, but they also get wiped out as well. So now we're just going to push further in. Black does say GG and he kind of gives up at this moment, but I think he's still in the game, perhaps. Not really sure, but we're still going to push through this way as well because brown is right next to black, so we're going to have to keep going. So I mostly just have siege units here. It's not really the best, especially if big force comes into attack. So if there's a lot of cavalry, just run in. I would actually be wiped out. So blue is defending here with an attack, but he manages to clean that up very quickly. And it's going to be a pretty slow march towards brown's base, and we're just closing in on him right now. I set up some production here as well, some a workshop to try and get more units, as well as 2 towers there to defend this position. So I'm just jumping ahead here, but from this point on it's going to be very one-sided against brown because he's the last one standing, and he has not many forces left. There's a tower to defend and a few fishing ships and stuff, but nothing there. So there's a whole bunch of ballistas here. I have 18 in the army plus 3 catapults. I will say the animation for these ballistas looks pretty cool. Like if you have a lot of them, it looks pretty awesome seeing like all these arrows fire. They don't do as much damage to buildings, but they outrange the towers, which is a plus as well. So you can sort of take down other buildings like the tower as well, but it just takes a long time compared to just using catapults. So most of the units here are actually siege units. So you see this kind of endless flaming arrow barrage here. For some reason, the HP of the buildings for brown is regenerating. You'll see this in a moment here with the shipyard, but for the longest time it just doesn't die. So it's half health now, and it's like down to like 10% or less than, and it should have died by now, but for some reason it just didn't die. So that was really weird. You can see that there's a whole bunch of catapults and ballistas just firing at this shipyard. They just won't fall. Yeah, zooming in there. Something weird. But yeah, that's that was just really hilarious. And there we go. For some reason, it's regenerating over 50 health. It just won't die. I'm not sure if that was meant to be like a bug or something specific about this map. But yeah, this is going to be the last building. So yeah, that will be the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next one. I'll see you guys next time.